Have you ever been around someone who smiles at you, speaks kindly, and even calls you a friend? Yet deep down, something just doesn't feel right? Maybe it's a subtle tension in their voice, a fleeting glance, or a joke that cuts just a little too deep. You can't quite put your finger on it, but your instincts are telling you something dark hidden beneath the surface. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, called this the shadow, the hidden part of our psyche that we deny but unknowingly project onto others. And when someone harbors resentment, envy, or even hatred towards you, they will try to hide it, but never completely. The signs are always there, subtle, unmistakable. In this video, I'm going to reveal 8 hidden signs that someone close to you secretly hates you, even if they do everything they can to disguise it. And trust me, sign number 8 is the most insidious of them all. It might just change the way you see certain people forever. So stay with me till the end, because what you're about to learn could completely shift your perspective on the people in your life. Let's begin. Sign 1. The contempt disguised as irony. Have you ever had someone make a joke at your expense, and when you call them out, they just smirk and say, "Relax, I was only joking." But deep down, it didn't feel like a joke, did it? That's because it wasn't. Some people disguise their contempt with sarcasm and irony. They'll laugh while they mock something personal to you, your dreams, your looks, your achievements, then gaslight you into thinking you're just being too sensitive. And here's the worst part. They do it in a way that makes them look harmless, while leaving you feeling humiliated. Have you ever shared a goal or an achievement, only to hear something like, "Oh, wow, you finally did something productive for once? I mean, good for you, but it's not that impressive. That's cute, but do you really think you can keep it up?" They laugh. Others around them might laugh too. And suddenly, you're standing there wondering, was that a joke or was that an attack? Let me tell you the truth. If a joke consistently makes you feel small, if it keeps targeting the same insecurities over and over, it's not humor, it's hidden hostility. Why do they do this? Because deep down they have something to prove. Carl Jung explained that when people suppress their own insecurities, they project them onto others, meaning their sarcastic attacks on you, they're really about them. Maybe they envy your confidence. Maybe your success reminds them of their failures. Maybe, just maybe, your very existence threatens the version of themselves they wish they were. So how do you spot these people? Pay attention to patterns. One sarcastic comment is whatever, but if they keep joking about the same thing, your intelligence, your career, your looks, it's a calculated hit. Watch their reaction when you don't laugh. If they get defensive, or worse, try to make you feel guilty for not playing along, that's a red flag. Trust your gut. If a joke consistently makes you feel bad, it's not a joke. It's an attack in disguise. And here's the real kicker. They know exactly what they're doing. They might act innocent, but their goal is control. They want to make you doubt yourself while keeping their hands clean. So the next time someone jokingly belittles you, don't just laugh it off. Call it out. Hold your ground. And most importantly, watch who gets uncomfortable when you do. Because that discomfort, it's their mask slipping, and we're just getting started. Sign 2 is even more dangerous because this time, they're not just attacking your confidence, they're sabotaging your future. Let's get into it. Have you ever felt like every time you take a step forward, something or someone pulls you 2 steps back? Maybe it's a friend who forgets to tell you about an important opportunity, a coworker who gives you misleading advice, a family member who subtly plants doubt in your mind right before you make a big decision. It feels like bad luck, coincidence, maybe even just carelessness on their part. But what if it's not? What if it's intentional? This is subtle sabotage, when someone close to you secretly resents your success, but instead of confronting it, they work in the shadows to slow you down. And the worst part, they do it in a way that makes them look innocent. Think about it. You tell them about a big opportunity coming up, and suddenly they accidentally forget to remind you about the deadline. You're about to take a major step in your career, and they flood you with doubts. Are you sure you're ready for that? I just don't want to see you fail. You're excited about a personal goal, and they help by pointing out all the ways it could go wrong. They're not attacking you outright. No, that would be too obvious. Instead, they kill your confidence slowly. They make sure you miss just enough chances, question yourself just enough times, and struggle just a little bit more than you should. And when you finally realize what's happening, they play dumb. Oh no, I didn't mean to forget. I was just trying to help. You're overthinking it. Why would I want you to fail? And that's the trap. They want to see you struggle, but they also want to keep their hands clean. Why do they do it? Because watching you succeed makes them confront their own failures. And rather than improving themselves, they'd rather drag you down to their level. Carl Jung explained that when someone can't face their own inadequacies, they project them onto others. They don't just resent your success, they fear what it says about them. So how do you protect yourself? Look at patterns, not excuses. A single mistake is an accident. Repeated coincidences are a sign. Listen to your gut. If someone's words leave you feeling more uncertain than supported, that's a warning sign. Watch how they react to your progress. A true friend will push you forward. A secret enemy will always find a way to hold you back. And speaking of hidden enemies, that brings us to sign 3, where it's not about holding you back, but making sure they always stay ahead. Have you ever shared something good that happened to you, only for someone to immediately one-up you? You tell them you got a promotion. They tell you about the much bigger raise they got. You just finished a big project? They casually mention that they've been working on something even harder. You finally achieve something you've been working toward for months, and they shrug it off like it's nothing special. At first, it might seem harmless, maybe even normal, but pay attention. Because if every time you succeed they have to prove they're better, you're not dealing with a friend. You're dealing with a competitor. And the scary part, you never signed up for this competition. This is silent competition, where someone close to you can't stand seeing you shine. So they do everything they can to dim your light. Why? Because your success reminds them of what they haven't achieved. It forces them to compare. And instead of being happy for you, they get threatened. And when people feel threatened, they get petty. They downplay your wins. Oh, I did that years ago. They make it about themselves. That's great, but guess what I just did? Or worse, they ignore your success altogether. And let's be real, that silence speaks volumes. Carl Jung said that people project their insecurities onto others, meaning, if someone constantly tries to outshine you, it's because deep down they feel like they're not enough. But instead of working on themselves, they'd rather compete with you, even if you never asked for the competition. So how do you spot these people? Notice who never claps when you win. Real friends celebrate you. Fake ones stay quiet or change the subject. Pay attention to who always has to one-up you. If their response to your achievements is to compare or compete, that's not support. That's insecurity. See who treats your success as their problem. The people who truly care about you will never see your growth as a threat. And let me be clear, you do not owe anyone an apology for shining. If your success makes someone uncomfortable, that's their problem, not yours. And trust me, we're only getting deeper. Because sign 4 is where things get even darker, when their support isn't just fake, but completely hollow. Have you ever had someone in your life who acts supportive, but when you really need them, they're nowhere to be found? You share exciting news, and they give you a forced smile, a dry "that's great," and immediately change the subject. You're struggling, and instead of offering real help, they brush it off with, "You'll figure it out, I'm sure." They don't say anything outright cruel. They don't attack you. They don't sabotage you, but they also don't actually support you. This is superficial support. It looks like encouragement on the surface, but when you dig deeper, there's nothing there. And let me tell you, this one is dangerous. Because unlike open negativity, this kind of fake support makes you doubt yourself instead of them. You might start thinking, maybe I'm just expecting too much from them. Maybe they're just not an expressive person. Maybe I'm imagining it, but you're not. Because when someone truly supports you, you feel it. Their energy, their enthusiasm, their presence, it's real. And when it's missing, you notice. Here's how to spot a fake supporter. They're always too busy when you need them. But somehow they have time for everything and everyone else. Their compliments feel empty, like they're just saying what they think they're supposed to say, not what they actually feel. They never celebrate your wins. Instead, they act uninterested or worse, distant. And here's the real kicker. They don't just ignore your success. they resented. Carl Jung explained that when people suppress envy, they distance themselves from the person they envy. Instead of confronting their feelings, they detach, cold, indifferent, distant. So what do? Pay attention to how people react when you win. If they're only around when you're struggling, but absent when you succeed, that's not a friend. Stop making excuses for their lack of support. Someone who truly cares will show up for you, not just when it's convenient for them. Remember, your success isn't a test of their loyalty, but their reaction is. They celebrate it. And if someone can't, it's time to ask yourself why they're in your life at all. But what if their fake support goes a step further? What if they don't just stand on the sidelines, but try to control your every move? That brings us to sign 5, where their caring isn't about love at all, it's about control. I'm only saying this because I care about you. I just want what's best for you. You should really listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Sound familiar? If you've ever had someone in your life who constantly criticizes your choices, questions your decisions, and makes you feel like you can't trust yourself, but insists they're doing it out of love, then listen closely. Because this isn't love, it's control. Some people don't want to support you, they want to manage you. They make you doubt your own instincts. Are you sure that's a good idea? I wouldn't do that if I were you. They frame control as concern. I just worry you'll fail, and I don't want to see you hurt. They discourage your independence. You don't need to do all that. Just listen to me instead. And here's what makes it so insidious. They disguise it as care. They don't forbid you from making your own choices. No, that would be too obvious. Instead, they subtly plant doubt in your mind. They make you question yourself just enough that you start depending on them. And that's exactly what they want. Because the moment you start trusting yourself, the moment you realize you don't need their constant input, they lose their power over you. Carl Jung explained that people who can't control their own emotions often try to control others instead. Their own life feels chaotic, so they manage yours to compensate. But let's get something straight. Real love empowers. Control restricts. So how do you tell the difference? Ask yourself, do their words make you feel confident or insecure? Support builds you up. Control breaks you down. Do they respect your decisions even when they disagree? If someone caring about you only applies when you obey them, it's not care, it's control. Do they get upset when you make a choice without them? If they react negatively when you trust yourself, that's a red flag. And here's what they don't want you to know. You don't need their approval. You don't need permission to trust yourself. You don't need someone else's validation to make your own choices. You are in control of your own life. And the moment you realize that, their power over you disappears. And speaking of power, what if someone doesn't just control you privately, but works behind the scenes to destroy your reputation? That's where things get truly dangerous. Sign 6 is one of the most manipulative, underhanded tactics out there, because you won't even see it happening until it's too late. You walk into a room, and suddenly the energy shifts. People exchange glances. Someone's smile seems just a little too forced. Conversations feel off, and then it hits you. Someone's been talking about you, but not in a good way. Gossip is one of the most insidious forms of hidden hatred, because unlike direct attacks, you don't see it happening. You don't hear the whispers, you don't witness the eye rolls, you don't get a chance to defend yourself. You just feel the consequences. People start acting different around you, and you don't know why. Opportunities slip away, and you don't know what happened. Your reputation changes, and you never even saw it coming. And here's the scariest part. The person doing this to you might be someone you trust. Think about it. They act supportive to your face, but behind your back, they subtly plant doubts about you. They never openly attack you, but they twist facts just enough to make people question you. They make it seem like they're concerned, but really they're poisoning how others see you. This isn't just backstabbing, it's psychological warfare. Why do people do this? Because talking behind your back gives them power. Power over how others see you. Carl Jung explained that people who feel inferior often tear others down to feel superior. If they can make people doubt you, exclude you, turn against you, they feel like they've won. And the most dangerous part, they'll never admit they're doing it. Oh no, I didn't say anything bad. I was just worried about them. I just think people should know the truth. I don't want to be mean. But and then, They drop a toxic little seed, just enough to make others wonder, doubt, question. And once that seed is planted, your reputation starts shifting without you even knowing why. So how do you protect yourself? Watch for sudden changes in how people treat you. If someone is spreading rumors, you'll feel it before you hear it. Notice who always brings you gossip about others. If they do it to them, they'll do it to you. Be mindful of who has access to your personal life. Not everyone who listens is a friend. Some are just collecting information to use against you later. And listen, you don't have to fight every lie, because the truth always outlives gossip. But what if the attack isn't just behind your back? What if they can't even pretend to be happy for you anymore? That's where we get to sign 7, when their resentment becomes impossible to hide. Think about the last time you achieved something important. Who was truly happy for you? Because here's the thing, real friends celebrate your wins. Fake ones endure them. And if someone secretly resents you, they won't be able to hide it. You tell them your good news, and they get quiet. You achieve something you worked hard for, and their energy shifts. You succeed at something they doubted, and suddenly they're distant. That's not an accident. That's resentment. And the worst part, it's not even about you. It's about them. Jung said that people project their own insecurities onto others, meaning your success doesn't just remind them of what you've done. It reminds them of what they haven't. They didn't take the risks you took. They didn't put in the work you did. They didn't believe in themselves the way you believed in yourself. And now, watching you win forces them to confront their own failures. And that makes them uncomfortable. So how do they react? They downplay your success. Oh, that's nice, but it's not a big deal. They shift the focus back to themselves. That's cool. Anyway, guess what I did? Or they go silent altogether. The energy drops. The conversation dies. And suddenly you feel like you should apologize for achieving something. But let me tell you something right now. You do not need to shrink to make others comfortable. You do not need to dim your light so others don't feel small. If someone can't be happy for you, it's not because you did something wrong. It's because they can't handle the reflection of themselves that your success creates. So stop seeking approval from people who resent your growth. Because trust me, their silence says more than words ever could. But what if their resentment isn't just quiet? What if it leaks through in ways they can't even control? That's where it gets truly revealing. Because sign 8 isn't something they can fake, hide, or even explain away. It's written all over them. Let's talk about it. Words can lie, smiles can deceive, but the body never hides the truth. You see, someone who secretly hates you might never say it out loud. They might play the role of the supportive friend, the loyal family member, the friendly coworker, but their body will always betray them. Because hatred, resentment, jealousy, these emotions aren't just thoughts. They're physical reactions. And if you pay attention, you'll see them. Watch for these nonverbal clues. 1. The forced smile. Their lips curve up, but their eyes, dead. The warmth isn't there. It's mechanical, almost rehearsed. 2. The sudden eye shift. When you share good news, their eyes flicker away for just a second, as if hearing your success physically irritates them. Or they blink a little too fast, like their brain is processing the jealousy before their face can fake enthusiasm. 3. The tight jaw, tense hands. You're talking, but their jaw clenches. Their hands curl into a slight fist. The body is holding back an emotion the mouth isn't allowed to say. 4. The delayed, low-energy response. You say, I just got a huge opportunity. They hesitate, then mumble, oh, that's nice. The reaction doesn't match the news. There's no excitement, no real emotion, just obligation. 5. Micro-expressions of disgust. A split-second sneer, a wrinkled nose, a slight head shake. It happens so fast that if you're not looking, you'll miss it. Jung believed that the unconscious mind always reveals itself, especially in body language. So even if someone is smiling at you, even if they're acting nice, their body will tell you the truth. So what do? Trust your instincts. If their energy feels off, don't ignore that feeling. Your gut is picking up on something real. Test the reaction. Next time you share a win, pause and watch them. Do they celebrate with you? Or does their face twitch just before they respond? Stop ignoring the signs. You don't have to confront them. You don't have to fix them. But you do need to protect your energy. Because the truth is, Someone who secretly hates you is not your friend. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can free yourself from their silent, hidden negativity. Now, let me ask you this. Have you recognized any of these signs in people around you? If so, don't ignore them, because your instincts are trying to warn you. And if you've made it this far, then trust me, you're meant to hear this message. So protect your energy. Watch people's actions, not just their words. And most of all, keep shining, because the right people won't just tolerate your light. They'll celebrate it. And the ones who don't, they were never truly with you to begin with. All right, now that you know the 8 hidden signs, let me ask you something. Have you seen these behaviors in people around you? If so, don't ignore it. Because when someone secretly resents you, when they subtly sabotage you, when they pretend to support you but can't even fake excitement for your success, that's not love. That's not friendship. That's a warning sign. Carl Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead to an understanding of ourselves." But here's the thing. Their resentment isn't your burden to carry. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to make them see your worth. And you definitely don't have to shrink yourself just to keep them comfortable. So what do? Distance yourself from their energy. Protect your peace. Stop seeking approval from those who secretly want you to fail. And most importantly, keep winning. Because at the end of the day, your success will do 2 things. It will inspire the right people, and it will expose the wrong ones. So the next time you feel that subtle tension, that fake support, that masked resentment, believe it. Because your instincts aren't blind to you. Now, if this video opened your eyes, let me know in the comments. Have you ever experienced these signs? Have you ever felt someone secretly rooting against you? And if you found this powerful, make sure you subscribe, because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay sharp, stay aware, and most of all, stay unstoppable.